Hey everyone, it's Michael Brook from Rapid Couples Counseling. I just thought I'd record this video on desire and specifically sexual desire and how that works in a long-term relationship. A lot of people can have challenges in their relationship in terms of sexual desire, and so I thought I'd record this video that can help some people understand their problem, understand what's going on in their relationship, potentially work on solutions, and with understanding you can develop a greater empathy for each other. Let's start, shall we? Now, this is what I'm going to be covering in this video. Firstly, desire in a relationship, specifically sexual desire. And we're going to be talking about myths about desire. We're going to be talking about the differences in desire in a relationship that appears to be quite common. We're talking about what's normal. We're going to be talking about brakes and accelerators. What are the things that increase desire? What are things that decrease desire? And also we're going to be coming up with some conclusions at the end that can help you. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, let's talk about desire, and specifically sexual desire. A lot of people believe things about desire that's not true. Well, the first thing that they often believe about sexual desire is that just because you're in a relationship with someone, you should desire them all the time, and that desire is a natural function. Well, this is not exactly true. Simply because desire goes in ebbs and flows. For a lot of women, they experience changes in desire according to their menstrual cycle. Often women, when they get into their 50s, if they're going through menopause, then that can produce some really, really radical swings in sexual desire. A lot of men can experience dramatic changes in sexual desire in a relationship. A lot of men can experience a lot of dramatic changes in sexual desire in a relationship, depending on the level of stress that they're experiencing at any point in time. Sexual desire in a relationship is not a natural function. There's a whole heap of things that can get in the way. There's also a whole heap of things that you can do to improve it, which we're going to be going further on that. But the assumption or the belief that it's a natural function you should desire your partner all the time isn't exactly true. Which brings me to the next one, is that my partner should desire me all the time. That's not true, because they're going to be doing some stuff. And that I should desire my partner all the time. That's not true. Next thing is, if I don't desire my partner, then the relationship is broken. Well, the interesting thing about that is, as we've already covered, that desire is not a natural function. We are the only species capable of volitionally chosen desire. You can choose to desire someone. People will go through dips and ebbs and flows, dips and troughs, highs and lows in desire in a relationship over a period of time. I've spoken to people who've been together for 30 or 40 years, and every single one of those couples says they experience ebbs and flows in desire. So there's a whole heap of things that can get in the way, and that just because you're not desiring your partner in the moment, that doesn't mean that the relationship is broken. And the final one that some people say, particularly if their relationship's in crisis, is that if I lose desire, there's no way of getting it back. Or if I don't want my partner, or don't desire my partner, then the relationship's over. That's not true. I've worked with a lot of couples in increasing their desire for each other, increasing their desire to have sex with each other, and increasing the desire in the relationship overall. So desire can be found again. It can be brought back to life. It's just because it's gone right now, that doesn't mean it's gone forever. Now, let's talk about differences in desire. Now, there's a whole lot of work been done over the last 20 years that's changed our understanding of the way desire works in a relationship. Now, there's a distinction that's been created, or that's become understood, about initiatory desire versus responsive desire. 50 years ago, the pioneering sex researchers by the name of Masters and Johnson came up with a model of desire that basically says that everyone's going to be experiencing desire the same, that you desire your partner, you feel the desire to initiate sex, and then you have it, and everything's wonderful. The problem is that data didn't exactly work in real life. And there's been a whole bit of research done over the last 20 years on the distinction between initiatory desire and responsive desire. So initiatory desire is desire that typically men experience, where they imagine the experience of having sex, or they imagine that the intimacy and connection they're going to have from having sex, and then they desire that, and then they initiate the sexual activity. So initiated desire, initiate the sexual activity. And that's one way of experiencing desire. A different way of experiencing desire is called responsive desire. Now, what responsive desire is that you might not be thinking about sex, but when the initiation occurs and when your partner initiates sex with you, you go into the experience and you end up desiring the sex whilst you're having it and afterwards feel good about it. And so this is what's called responsive desire. Now, when polled, there's been a number of different polls done on different population groups all over the world. Initially, this was done in Canada, but it's also been replicated in the United States. That when asked, do men experience initiated desire versus responsive desire, roughly 80% of men say they experience initiated desire. They desire the sex and they initiate the sexual engagement. Interestingly enough, on a number of these surveys, roughly 70% of women said they didn't experience initiated desire, but they did experience responsive desire. As in, they weren't necessarily thinking about sex, but when their partner initiated sex, they would go through and have the experience. There are also a heap of anecdotal information from women, particularly women bodybuilders, women powerlifters, and also women who've been going through a gender transition from women to men. When they start taking a lot of testosterone, they change from having responsive desire to initiated desire. Initiated desire, from what we can tell, appears to be related to the level of testosterone within a human being system. So if someone has a high level of testosterone, they will tend to have initiated desire more than responsive desire. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because it's an important distinction. In any relationship, there's normally one person that initiates sex more, and normally one person that initiates sex less. And most of the time, it's the men that initiate sex more, and most of the time, it's women who tend to have responsive desire. And so, if that's what's going on for you, now some people, particularly some women, feel like they should want sex more, or they feel pressure to want sex more. But when they actually have sex with their partner, they feel good about it, enjoy the experience. Now, if that's the case, then the probability is that they're experiencing responsive desire as opposed to initiated desire. So this is an important distinction, that men and women do experience desire differently. Now, if you look at the approximate breakdown in terms of sexual desire, in terms of relationships, approximately 30% of couples have the same level of desire. Either both of them have high desire for sex, or both of them have low desire for sex. So there's roughly a 50% split there, right? And so if both people have the same level of desire, typically sex isn't a problem in the relationship. Some people can have sex 2 to 3 times a week or 3 to 4 times a week for their entire adult lifetimes. Roughly 25% of couples aged 70 plus, when polled, say they're having sex 3 to 4 times a week. That's 70-year-olds, right? And roughly a further 25% are having sex once or twice a week. People can maintain a really good sexual engagement over their entire lifetimes. Approximately 50% of couples have the woman as the high desire partner for sex, who tends to be the one that initiates sex more. And of the remaining, that roughly leaves about 55% of couples where the man is the high desire partner for sex. Right? So all up, roughly 70% of couples have a difference in desire for sex. Now, it's really important to note that these differences in desire are normal. Roughly 70% of couples have them. And if that's you, then you should go, oh, hang on, well, this seems to be a normal experience. It's how you resolve that and how you find a middle ground between those differences in desire that determines whether or not it's going to be a big problem for your relationship or whether or not it's going to be something that you can successfully navigate. It's really, really important to be able to find a middle ground in terms of frequency and in terms of how you end up having the sex you're having, so that you're both happy with your sexual engagement and you can both experience the sex that you want. Now, there are a number of different accelerators of desire for sex in a relationship. Some things make you naturally want your partner more. The first one is time and attention. Attention is the currency of relationship. I say it over and over and over. And so you need to give your partner your time and attention. It's really important to give your partner your time and attention. Giving your partner your positive time and attention means that they will experience more desire for you. Rest, exhaustion is not sexy. Now, a lot of people these days are running on empty a lot of the time, either if they're working shift work or they have a couple of jobs, or they have jobs that go for a very long period of time, or they're doing 10 to 14-hour days. A lot of those people who are continually exhausted have little time for a good sexual engagement and have little time for sex in their lives and to feel desired and to express desire. But it's really important to have a balance. Next thing is fun. Fun creates desire in a relationship. It's really surprising how often when I look at couples and go, how much fun are you having with each other? A lot of the time I get these blank stares. The people go, we haven't, it's been years since we've done anything that's been fun with each other. It's like, no wonder you're not enjoying being together. So it's really important for you to have fun with each other. Next thing is variety of sexual behavior improves desire for it. Frequently, people decrease the amount of desire they have for sex, not out of poor judgment, but out of good judgment, because the sex they're having isn't what they want to have. And they don't know how to ask their partner to have the sex that they want. And even if they do ask their partner, if their partner doesn't agree, because sex is a team sport, then they end up not having a lot of the sex they want. And so because they're getting a lot of sex they don't want, it's easy to say no to more helpings of bad sex. So variety of sexual behavior is important. Emotional intimacy is particularly important for women. If women don't feel like they're getting their emotional needs met, it's very easy for them to reduce desire for their partner. Distance and time apart is important in terms of having increasing desire for each other. Now, sexual polarity is something that's a complex topic. I won't go on over here, but sexual polarity is important to maintaining desire in a relationship. Kindness is important. It's really important to be kind to your partner, because if someone's being a mean arsehole to you, most of the time people don't want to open up their bodies to someone who's being a mean arsehole. And final one is self-confrontation and effort. When people put in the effort into their relationship, people generally experience an increase in desire. Now, there are things that improve relationship. What are things that kill desire? Firstly, weakness and not standing up for yourself, right? Someone who says yes all the time to their partner isn't someone who's getting laid a lot, right? The next thing is resentment. Resentment kills desire. So if you've got issues in the background in your relationship that haven't been addressed, if you've got resentment that's been built up over years and years and years that hasn't been let go of, that kills desire. Neediness, begging, being really, really needy in a relationship kills desire. Tiredness and fatigue. One of the reasons why breastfeeding women have a substantial decrease in desire for sex and relationship because they're just so damn exhausted all the time. Familiarity, not spending time apart. Spending time is important because absence makes the heart grow fonder. Okay, body fat, like becoming genuinely unattractive, right? If you get in a relationship and you're, say, 80 kilos, and fast forward 10 years and you're 160 kilos and morbidly obese, well, it's reasonable for your partner to not want to jump your bones. Extreme emotionality and uncontrolled emotional outbursts, or excessive control. If someone's being excessively controlling in a relationship, that kills desire as well, right? And final one is stress. If you're stressed out of your brain, the last thing you want to do is to think about and worry about the stress of initiating sex or having sex with your partner. So all of these things kill desire. Oh, the final one that really kills desire is mobile phones. Having your partner give all their attention to a mobile phone. That kills desire like crazy. So all of these are things that can reduce desire in a relationship. So the conclusions are, differences in desire are normal. It's normal for people to have a difference in desire. How you navigate that and how you can get back to having a middle ground between your desire and your frequency, that is what can make the difference between a relationship being great and for there being permanent problems. There are common myths about desire don't help. People don't understand the way desire works. There are many things that can decrease desire in a relationship. There are many things that can increase desire in a relationship. Desire in a relationship is a constant negotiation and dance. It's like two people dancing across a dance floor. Sometimes you're going to be in sync and sometimes you might be a little bit out of sync. What's important is that you keep on working back towards getting into sync and to dancing the same dance together at the same time. And it's really important to seek help to work through the differences in desire because they can be overcome. I've worked with lots and lots of couples overcoming their differences in desire in a relationship. It's actually quite easy with some skilled help. So, this brings me to the end of what I'm going to talk about today. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe the video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you've got any comments, please put a comment in the video. And if you would like to book in for a session, the link to my booking site will be in the description. There's also a link in the description to my book, Thriving in Flux. And that brings me to the end of today's video. Thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Bye.